Hello there, masters and princesses. I am Brent Jensen and welcome to this video. I'm a songwriter, musician, and producer. In this video, I want to talk more about my journey to Band-Maid, as it may be somewhat different from the journey many of you have experienced. Perhaps it will help you reflect on your journey to Band-Maid as well. This video is providing more detail than my video called My Band-Maid Stairway Expanded, and is inspired by some of the comments from that video. I also want to say that I really enjoyed the comments from my last video about hate, ? I learned new things, got new insights, and even a few laughs. I know some of my guesses were not quite right in that video, and my perspective was a bit dreamy, but it is a good conversation, good stuff. Now, on to this video. As a child, I grew up listening to the music my mother played. This included John Denver, the Carpenters, Glen Campbell, that kind of thing. Very melody-driven music, which I really enjoyed. I started learning piano at age 6, but then switched to guitar at age 8 after I got quite attached to a ukulele my mom had around the house. My mom was a piano player, but she decided to take classical guitar lessons, and at age 8 I started taking with her same teacher. By the time I was a teenager, I played classical guitar and had also learned to play many of those John Denver, Carpenters, and Glen Campbell songs I had been listening to. It was in high school that I first discovered and became a big fan of progressive rock. But it wasn't so much the rock that appealed to me. It was the classical elements and the acoustic elements. I primarily listened to Genesis, Camel, and Yes. I also really enjoyed the Alan Parsons Project. I loved the twinkling sound of the 12-string guitars and the classically inspired orchestral/keyboard arrangements of those groups. From that, I grew to enjoy the rock elements. I think the only classic-style rock band I ended up listening to regularly was Boston, though my best friend had a TR-6 Roadster, and I remember cruising down the highway with the top down, blasting AC/DC, which was his favorite. As for guitar solos, I enjoyed the slower, more expressive, melodic style of Camel and Pink Floyd. I bought my first electric guitar towards the end of high school with the help of a friend in the music department. It was a semi-hollow-bodied Gibson ES-135, more of a jazz guitar than a rock guitar. I found an old picture of myself with that guitar that I will put up. So 70s, right? I also bought a 12-string acoustic. In college, I formed a band mostly to play Genesis music, and I was the acoustic guitar player in the band, along with an electric lead guitar player, also named Brent, by the way, which is not a very common name. Eventually, the band decided we wanted to play out to the college crowd. In order to get gigs, we needed more classic rock and danceable songs in our repertoire. So I started playing electric classic rock style guitar. I bought some off-brand, solid-body electric. Oh yeah, it was a Hondo, like this one. I got my first amp with distortion, and I learned a lot from the other Brent in the band. Also in college, I wrote a lot of my own music and recorded it with a Tascam reel-to-reel 4-track. After college, I focused more on writing, performing, and recording my own music, which I would describe as mostly influenced by John Denver, Camel, and the Alan Parsons Project. The artists that first come to mind from the 1980s that I listened to are the Thompson Twins, Kate Bush, Peter Gabriel, and the Eurythmics. I never really paid much attention to bands with a lot of distorted rhythm guitar playing. With that history in mind, you can imagine that when I first heard Puzzle by Band-Maid, it was a bit out of my comfort zone. A lot of it sounded like noise, but I could detect some complexity in the arrangement that intrigued me. Also, the whole vibe of the group appealed to me. They were not your stereotypical hard rock or metal group. I think the positive energy, innocence, lack of ego, beautiful vocals, and to be honest, femininity of the group provided a way in for me. They were not trying to imitate the usual hard rock/metal aesthetic and posturing I associated with this music. Miku embraces her charm. Psyche embraces her elegance. Konami has a childlike quality. Akane is a bundle of joy. And Misa is mysterious. The whole thing is positive and uplifting. I like that they are rather unique in this way. It is because the Maid Cafe elements are infused into this band with the idea of cute outfits, customer service, and all the rest of it that I am attracted to them and excited to follow into their vision of hard rock, metal, punk, etc. So I've really needed to learn how to listen to Band-Maid and how to appreciate their music. This is why many of the Band-Maid reactors and reviewers on YouTube that analyze the music have been so important to me. I started off liking a handful of songs, and as time goes on, I learned to like more and more. Many songs I don't get at first, I end up really liking a month or two later after several listens. My playlist has only 66 songs now out of their 120 plus song catalog, which is pretty darn good for me. There are some songs I have not yet heard. Some of the band's very early songs don't quite appeal to me. Some songs are good, but just don't have the right hook that attracts me. Some songs I like right away. And more importantly, there are some songs I don't understand yet, but will learn to love. This is what makes Band-Maid so exciting to me. It reminds me of discovering progressive rock music when I was a teen, learning to enjoy the rock in that music. And I feel the same way now. The work I put into understanding and learning to like Band-Maid's music pays off and is very rewarding. So I thank Miku for putting this whole concept together, guiding it, and infusing it with such a positive energy into the group with her vision, personality, and lyrics. I thank Konami for writing such interesting, challenging, and complex rock songs that are also energetic, raw, and accessible. I like the many influences and catchy melodic choruses. These songs appeal to me as a musician and one who loves great melodies. Konami is a genius. I thank Psyche for her passion, expression, and elegance as a singer and performer. She often touches my heart and brings tears. I thank Akane, as perhaps the most talented musician in a very talented band, for her joyful energy and big smiles. And I thank Misa for grounding the band and playing the bass often like a lead electric guitar in such a tasteful way. I thank all the members for their excellence, dedication, and honesty. I like how they all work together to create their songs, each member contributing their strengths. Though they wear costumes or battle armor to perform, they are very real, relatable people and make a personal connection with the fans. They all contribute to and execute Miku's dream so successfully. Band-Maid really is a miraculous band.